Hello there, Battle Brothers, and welcome to yet another video, and welcome to yet another review video. And finally, today, we are reviewing yet another installment in the Horus Heresy series, and we are reviewing the first short story in the Mark of Calth anthology. We are reviewing the Shards of Erebus by Guy Haley. Woo! I have taken a break from reading Horus Heresy to reread the Eisenhorn trilogy, plus some short stories, and let me tell you, I have missed this series a lot. You might know, if you've been following my channel for quite some time, that I have only been into the glorious grimdark world of the Warhammer 40,000 and Horus Heresy for about a year and a half, during which time I have been able to amass a considerable amount of information and read over 50 novels. It's just a revelation to me still, and it's absolutely fantastic. And ever since I started reading Horus Heresy, I have been enjoying it immensely. As a lot of people, initially I thought, alright, I would only read certain volumes, and some volumes I would skip, those that are not that much important for the overall story. And then I thought to myself, what, everything's important, come on. And my OCD kicked in, and I was like, I need to read absolutely everything. Well, there you go. We are at volume 25, I believe, the Mark of Calth. And the short story, Shards of Erebus, is dealing with a very controversial character from this entire universe and mythos. Some say that there would be no heresy without Erebus. Some say that he started it all. He was indeed the man who schemed and plotted behind the scenes, and was the man in the shadows at first, but then of course not so much in the shadows, who not so covertly did influence not only his fellow Astartes, but mainly then Horus himself, and he's got a lot to do with the Athame. The weapon, the famous weapon, the Xenos knife that was used to wound Horus, so that he is easily taken to the other side, right? So that he is easily turned and tainted by warp. And was indeed hugely about the word bearers. When we read the novel The First Heretic, which of course then traces way back to them being the zealots who maybe too religiously praised the Emperor of Mankind and really did consider him to be a god. But of course, at the time, that's what he didn't want people and his Astartes to do. He slapped around Lorgar, all under the very stern and very stoic eyes of Robert Guillemot and his Ultramarines, and that's where it all started. They got butthurt. And then, of course, one thing met the other, and so on and so forth. But Shards of Erebus, what's that about? 3 minutes 54 seconds into the video itself, and I'm finally talking about the short story. Well, that's me. It is about the Athame. This entire short story really deals with Calth and the horrible attack of word bearers upon the Ultramarines, which we were able to read in No Fear, written by Dan Abnett. Very much different book from most of those from the Horus Heresy that I have read so far, but then again kind of fitting for the legion of the Ultramarines, them being all calculating and all about theoretical and practical, them being the sons of Robert Guillemot, who is being made fun of course, by fans for being too much of a bookworm and strategist. But hey, his strategies work, right? And so we do encounter Erebus, and we actually learn about what happened before Calth, and we do learn about how he was how he learned to make a tear in reality. If you remember in No No Fear, this short story, this anthology, by the way, don't read it if you haven't read No No Fear. And after all, why would you read this if you haven't read anything or everything that came before, or most of it, really? You do need to read the first 6, 7, 8 volumes, and then at least No No Fear, and then you might understand. And the first heretic, maybe the battle for the Abyss, and then you might understand this. That's why I love it so much. Man, this is so... Oh, gosh, golly. Getting to know all the little things and details and information from the lore. It is as if I was discovering Tolkien again for the first time. I know, bad comparison to completely different things, but it feels like it. And so we learn how he learned how to make a tear in reality like he did in No No Fear, so he could escape Calth after the horrible events and after he performed that ritual there. And of course then we get to know that, and spoilers, and by the way, if you didn't care, or if you cared for spoilers, for this book not being spoiled for you, you probably wouldn't be here if you didn't read it already, right? If you're here and you haven't read anything about Horus Heresy, you will have absolutely no understanding what the heck I am talking about. So we get to know, spoilers, that there are several FMEs. How many? 8. Oh gosh, why 8? The chaos, right? 8 pointed star and things like that. Beautiful. Absolutely extraordinary. I'm enjoying these things really very much. And I am enjoying the novels in the same way, same level. I am enjoying the short stories in the anthologies. It's always a little bit of a break and intermezzo, those short stories that hint upon one character or another. Sometimes the short stories are written about a major character, like Erebus. We meet Corferon and characters like that. And then it could be about a random bloody space marine. And then you have a short story that's about how the Emperor visited the last preacher on Earth, on Terra, and how he had his storm warriors burn the last temple, the last church on Terra. And I was like, gee, wow, right? So such diversity of themes and even subgenres and stories, narrative techniques, characters. Oh, Jesus. I'm so glad I'm back reading Horus Heresy after. It hasn't been that much. I mean, I've only read one omnibus. Alright, let me know in the comments down below what you think. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, the Emperor protects.